The Faber Castell Empire, a legacy of 260 years. The story begins in Stein, Germany, in the small workshop of a cabinetmaker named Caspar Faber. In 1761, he began crafting lead pencils in his spare time. While he started as a simple craftsman, his obsession with quality laid the foundation for a dynasty that would last over 9 generations. After Caspar, the business passed to his son, Anton Wilhelm Faber, a W. Faber. He was the visionary who turned the small workshop into a flourishing manufactory. To honor his massive contribution to the company's early success, the brand was officially named a W. Faber. This name would stand as a global symbol of prestige for the next century. In 1839, the fourth generation took over, Lothar von Faber. He was a marketing and engineering genius. Lothar realized that for the brand to conquer the world, it needed standards. The standard length, he determined that 17.5 centimeters was the perfect length for hand balance and wood efficiency. The hardness scale, he perfected the chemistry between graphite, for blackness, and clay, for hardness. While rivals like the Czech company Koh-i-Noor were developing the H, B, F codes, Lothar was the one who turned them into a strict, universal scientific standard. Branding, he continued to stamp every pencil with a W. Faber, making it the first branded writing instrument in history. The family built the Faberschloss, Faber Castell, between 1903 and 1906. This massive limestone palace featured a New Romanesque wing for the Count and an Art Nouveau wing for the Countess. It later became a historic landmark, housing international journalists during the Nuremberg trials after WWII. Today, Faber-Castell produces over 2 billion pencils every year. They invented the SV bonding process, which glues the lead to the wood along the entire length to prevent breakage. Beyond pencils, they are leaders in sustainability, owning 10,000 hectares of their own pine forest in Brazil. They plant 1 million trees every year to ensure they never take more from the earth than they give back. We've told you the big picture. Now let me give you the details. In the beginning, square or round. When people first started making pencils, they tried many shapes. They tried square pencils. They were stable on desks. They never rolled away. But there was a problem. After a long time writing, the sharp edges hurt your fingers. Square pencils were painful. They tried round pencils. They were comfortable to hold, so smooth in your hand. But there was a bigger problem. The moment they fell off the desk, they rolled and rolled and rolled straight under the farthest corner of the room. You would spend minutes crawling on the floor to find your pencil. Neither shape was perfect. Why the hexagon? The hexagon became the perfect middle ground, and there are 3 brilliant reasons why. 1. Comfort. Ergonomics. The hexagonal shape fits your fingers naturally. It's not too sharp like the square, so it doesn't hurt. It's not too round like the circle, so it doesn't slip. Your grip feels natural. Your hand stays relaxed. You can write for hours without pain. 2. No more rolling. Anti-roll. This is the magic of the hexagon. When a hexagonal pencil falls on the floor, it doesn't roll away. It falls exactly where it lands. It might tip over once, but then it stops. Right there, under your desk. Not under the sofa on the other side of the room. For students, for office workers, for anyone who drops things, this is a gift. 3. Smart manufacturing, efficiency. Here is the secret most people don't know. The hexagon is the most economical shape to manufacture. When you cut wooden slats to make pencils, you waste less wood than with round pencils. You can fit more pencils in the same piece of wood. You keep exactly the right amount of space for the graphite inside. It's efficient. It's smart. It's perfect. A funny story. Some people say the hexagon had another hidden benefit: quiet play in the classroom. Square pencils didn't roll well, boring for games. Round pencils rolled too fast and made noise the teacher would hear. But hexagonal pencils, they rolled just enough for a quiet game under the desk, without making a sound. The perfect student companion. When did it start? The hexagonal pencil appeared around the 1850s by Lothar von Faber. It spread quickly because the advantages were so clear. The Koh-i-Noor company was one of the first to use it, and made it famous with their 1860 model. Soon, every pencil maker in the world copied the shape. Before his marriage, he had served as an officer in the Bavarian military. Like many young noblemen of his time, he wore a uniform, and that uniform had a color, a distinctive, rich, elegant green. It was the color of his regiment, the color he wore with pride, the color that reminded him of duty, of honor, of service. Years later, when he took his place at the head of the Faber-Castell Empire, that color stayed with him. In 1905, Count Alexander made a decision that would shape the company's identity for more than a century. he decided to launch a new line of premium pencils. These would not be ordinary pencils. They would be the finest pencils the world had ever seen, made with the best graphite, the finest wood, the most precise craftsmanship. He called this new line Castell. But every great product needs a great identity. It needs to be recognized instantly. It needs to stand out on every desk, in every shop, in every country. Count Alexander looked at his pencils and made a choice. He would paint them green, not because green was fashionable, not because market research said so, but because green was his color, the color of his regiment, the color of honor, discipline, and nobility. When the first green pencils appeared in 1905, they were unlike anything the world had seen. They were bold, they were elegant, they were unmistakable. The pencil was called the Castell 9000. That same year, Count Alexander commissioned an artist to paint a scene that would become legendary. The painting showed two knights on horseback, jousting with lances. But look closer, the lances were not lances at all. They were pencils. The message was clear. The new Faber Castell family had merged industry with nobility. Their weapon was not the sword, it was the pencil. Their battlefield was not the jousting field, it was the world of commerce, art, and education. The painting became the company's logo, and the green pencils became its flag. You've learned the story of Faber, but when did this great historical company become Faber Castell? There's still so much more. The marriages, the factories, the forests, the sports, the hobbies. There's still so much more to come. Subscribe to the channel, hit like, and share this video. Thanks for watching. The choice of green was not just sentimental, it was brilliant. In an age when most pencils were left in their natural wood color, or painted in dull browns and blacks, the green Castell pencils stood out like emeralds on a desk. They caught the eye, they whispered quality, and because the pencils themselves were exceptional, perfectly balanced, precisely graded, beautifully crafted, people began to associate the color green with excellence. If you saw a green pencil, you knew it was good. The success of the Castell 9000 was immediate. Artists loved them, writers loved them, professionals everywhere sought them out, and soon, other pencil makers noticed. They saw that green pencils were selling. They saw that customers associated green with quality. One by one, competitors began painting their best pencils green, hoping to capture some of that magic. But the original remained the original. Faber Castell's green was not just a color, it was a story of a count, his regiment, and a family that refused to be ordinary. In 1950, when Faber Castell redesigned its logo, the green color was kept as part of the identity. It was too important to change. Over the decades, the green appeared on the Castell 9000 pencils, the polychromos colored pencils, the Graf von Faber Castell luxury line, the company's packaging, advertising, and buildings. In 2005, exactly 100 years after Count Alexander introduced the green pencil, Faber Castell celebrated the centenary of the Castell line. The green color had survived to world wars, the Great Depression, the digital revolution, and countless market changes. It was still there, still green, still unmistakable. Today, when you hold a green Faber Castell pencil, you are holding more than a writing instrument. You are holding a piece of history. The green comes from a Bavarian military regiment in the 1890s. It comes from a count who refused to let his identity disappear when he married into a new family. Comes from a moment in 1905 when one man decided that his pencils would be different and better than everything else on the market. The green is a reminder that quality has a color, that excellence can be recognized at a glance, that some things are worth preserving for generations. Count Alexander von Faber-Castell died, but his color lives on. Every time a Faber-Castell pencil rolls off a production line, it is painted green. Every time an artist picks up a Castell 9000, they touch a tradition that began with a nobleman and his military uniform. The factory in Stein still stands, the castle still watches over the town, and the green pencils still leave their marks on paper all over the world. In a world of constant change, of trends that come and go, of brands that reinvent themselves every few years, Faber-Castell's green has remained constant for 120 years. It has outlasted empires. It has outlasted wars. It has outlasted the men who created it. And it will outlast us too.